I'm Luna, and I'm 30 years old. My spouse, Isaac, and I have been married for 5 years. I get along very well with Isaac, and we both like each other's company in different ways. Despite being a common source of friction in married life, my mother-in-law, Nova, and I get along well. I don't appear to have any issues with her. For now, Nova lives by herself. Simon, my father-in-law, passed away from illness 3 years ago. After Simon died, my husband wanted to move in with Nova, but I said no. Though living with Nova was a different scenario, I still liked her. Our relationship would undoubtedly suffer, and we would both experience stress as a result. I therefore suggested to Isaac that we purchase a home close to Nova. Isaac approved of the scheme, and now we go to Nova every weekend as a ritual. Nova always welcomes us with a smile and appears to be delighted to have us visit. Our married life is going well, but I have one complaint. That's how much Isaac makes. Even though Isaac and I work full-time jobs, my pay is about twice that of his. My initial pay was substantial because I worked for an egg company, and I recently received a promotion that increased it even further. I believe my pay is reasonable when compared to that of my coworkers. However, Isaac works for a small business, and overall, the business's performance isn't so great. That's why he gets paid so little. I can't say that there is a problem because Isaac is a cheap and thrifty person, but I still get a bit nervous when I consider having a child in the future. However, Isaac puts in a lot of work every day, so I find it challenging to discuss these topics with him. Thus, my goals are to advance in my career and provide for my family's financial needs. I once left work earlier than normal and got home in the evening. I heard Isaac on the phone with someone as soon as I opened the door and went into the house. Normally, I try not to become involved, but I was a little suspicious, so I pretended not to be noticed and silently overheard his chat. Then I heard this exchange between Isaac and myself. Remain calm. Luna is unsure. I looked at my savings, and I have a sizable amount of money currently. With the individual you introduced me to, Mom, things are going nicely. Yes, all I need to do now is choose the appropriate time to file for divorce from her. My ears were unbelievable to me. Conserve? Separation. How on earth is Isaac saying this? And who is this new acquaintance of his? No one is most likely the person on the other end of the phone. What are their plans? My thoughts suddenly became blank. To help me relax, I sneaked out of the house and went to a local cafe. Isaac was discussing ending our marriage. Did that imply that the new acquaintance of his was a different woman? And by savings, what did he mean? Isaac, as I remember, is not very wealthy. Could he have been telling lies all along? All of these ideas were racing through my head at once. I grabbed a pen and paper, took a cup of coffee to clear my head, and started to arrange my ideas in this circumstance. I then had an idea for a theory. So maybe Isaac and Nova are plotting my divorce jointly. Additionally, they have been hiding valuables, such as money, to be with Isaac's new mistress. All of this, though, was conjecture. I therefore made the decision to first request that the detective agency look into the matter and determine whether Isaac is indeed cheating on me. Upon returning from the cafe, Isaac gave me a naive glance and said, "Welcome home," with a beaming expression. Even if he was occasionally untrustworthy, I'd always believed Isaac to be a guy of integrity. The realization that he had a secret side to him startled me and made me understand how easily appearances can be deceiving. I got the investigation's findings from the detective agency a few weeks later. It was established that there was ample proof of Isaac's and his mistress's covert rendezvous. Numerous pictures showed them entering the hotel together. This was sufficient evidence that Isaac was unquestionably unfaithful to me. The savings he had been keeping hidden from me were the next thing I learned. It was quite challenging to locate this proof. Firstly, from what I could see in his pay stubs, Isaac doesn't have a lot of money to save. Then it occurred to me to think, what if all along he had been showing me fake pay stubs? Is it possible that Isaac forged his pay stubs in order to present them to me? However, Isaac lacks the intelligence to falsify pay stubs. If that's the case, Noah has to be the one carrying that out. I had to obtain some sort of proof, no matter what. Isaac and I spent the weekend visiting Nova as usual, but this time she was acting strangely. It was clear that she had changed from who she had been in the past. "Will you make dinner for us today, Luna? I always make you food, you know that. I wish you had given solo cooking more of a go." "Oh, I see. Since you are the wife, you ought to be the one doing the majority of the job." Nova had done everything on her own up until this point, so it was true that her abrupt attitude change caught me off guard. Nevertheless, she had not asked for my assistance. Thus, I was totally oak with cooking. I used stuff from Nova's house to make a few different recipes, but Nova refused to eat them at all, even after I placed them on the table. Are you not going to eat, Nova? Next, Nova began tossing the dishes in the garbage. What are you doing? I'm unable to consume this awful meal. At that point, Nova pulled out her cup of noodles and began to cook them. This is much better to eat. I looked at Isaac, but he was not paying attention to anything. That's what it's all about, I see. Together, Isaac and Nova were trying to intimidate me into telling them that I wanted a divorce. Following that, Nova persisted in harassing me. She made me do the majority of the chores while she watched TV on the couch. This included cleaning the toilet, bathtub, storage area, and laundry. She would yell at me if I attempted to take even a brief break. It didn't hurt me at all, though, because I knew that this was all part of their scheme to have me divorced. I would practically chuckle at Nova's treatment of me. Because it didn't seem to be working on me, Nova's bullying got worse. She says, "Oh," as I'm cleaning the living room. It smashes the dishes into pieces when it abruptly dumps them. "Oh, Luna, I apologize. Could you also tidy up here?" She grins at me and speaks. Perhaps Nova believed that she had succeeded at last, that I may come to despise her. To be honest, though, I was amazed that she was prepared to give up her own dishes in order to intimidate me. "Are you hurt, Nova? I'll pick these up as soon as I bring the brush." When Nova heard me say those words, she became grumpy right away. She was presumably upset that her attempts to bully me again had failed. Nova's bullying eventually turned into a major issue. "You really irritate me. You constantly move too quickly. Try to be more useless, please. What makes you so compliant?" Right now, I'm having a hard time not laughing out loud. I was taking pleasure in the circumstances. Finally, though, Nova stepped over a line that she shouldn't have. This specific day, after dinner at Nova's house, I was doing the dishes. Nova approached me and said, "You used too much water. You consumed it," and gave me a cheek slap. I slapped her back as hard as I could, with my hands still wet from the soap, right away. Nova instantly collapsed after that. Isaac asks her in a flurry, "What are you doing?" Disregarding him, I walked out of Nova's house. When I got home, Isaac followed me. "Hi there. Why in the world did you decide to touch my mother?" "Nova was the one who initially touched me. I take it that you did something incorrectly." "How are you able to say that?" Nova suddenly snapped all by herself. "I'm done with this for now." "What?" "I'm trying to say that I can't be married to a man who abuses my mother." "Yes, I understand. Are you implying that you would like a divorce?" "Yes, it is correct. Divorce is what I want." "All right, let us file for divorce." After saying that, I opened the drawer and pulled out the divorce paperwork. "How come? Did you have the divorce papers ready already?" I was aware that this would occur. More significantly, though, could you invite Nova over here as well if we're going to talk about the divorce? "How come?" "Why? Mom is not involved in this at all." I hit Nova. "That's why we got divorced, right?" Additionally, Nova let her know if we're divorcing, as appropriate. With reluctance, Isaac accepted and asked Nova to come to her home. After a little while, Nova approached. Nova gripped her crimson cheeks and gave me a glare. I ignored her scowl and carried on speaking. "You truly want a divorce then?" "Yes, I don't mind that we're getting divorced." I completed my portion and gave it to Isaac. Isaac smiled as he and Nova exchanged glances after he had completed his portion. "That means we're done, I suppose." "Hold on, we're not quite done yet. We still need to discuss property splits and alimony." Both Isaac and Nova give me a blank stare. "Alimony? What topic are you discussing?" "What is alimony for?" "For this." Having said so, I placed the pictures of Isaac's affair on the table together with the divorce documents. This is Isaac and Nova suddenly going pale. "Did you not know that you were having an affair?" No, this isn't the same. After being caught on camera going into a hotel room with your mistress, there is no way you can hide it. I'm sure I can get maintenance for this, am I right? Not at all. I am also aware that you have been saving money in secret. The surprised looks in Isaac's and Nova's eyes widen. You truly believe that fabricating your pay stubs would get you away with it. What topic are you discussing? But you know who I am, Isaac. You were not able to accomplish that. So you did cooperate, Nova. How come? There's no way in which I would act in that manner. It's totally okay if you choose to be honest, though. However, I'm going to sue you for fraud if you don't tell the truth right away. Nova appears to be so nervous that she can't stop perspiring. Never make accusations against someone for which you lack evidence. Definitely, I'll gather evidence. You know, there are lots of ways to obtain proof. I'll file a lawsuit against you and ask my attorney to provide evidence of your income. They will then display your withholding tax slips to me, and I'll instantly know for sure. Isaac's complexion became paler. At last, I said something that would ultimately force Isaac to confess. If you attempt to conceal it, you may be held liable for all losses and will have to pay a sum greater than your portion of the assets. Is that acceptable? At last, Isaac admitted everything, that he had saved money in his own account and that Nova had assisted him in fabricating his pay stubs. He responded to my question about why he did this in a way that shocked me. Because I made more money than he did, Isaac has always felt less than me. However, when he brought this up with Nova, she reportedly told him to get a divorce. Nova, however, advised that since I was earning more money, Isaac should allow me to cover more of his living expenses while he covertly saved money. Once he had enough saved, we would file for divorce. It appears that Nova has been resenting me for some time since she discovered that I declined to move in with her, and she intended to use this tactic to defeat me. Thus, these self-victimizing individuals were attempting to deceive me. I concluded that there was no reason to be nice to them after learning this. I contacted a lawyer right away and told Isaac and his mistress that I was entitled to alimony. I also asked them to reveal Isaac's secret savings and to give me a sizable portion of them. In return for my departure, he gave me half the house's value. When Isaac's savings from paying me money eventually ran out, it appears that his mistress told him she was unaware that she would need to pay alimony, which caused her to become enraged and leave Isaac. Given that Isaac followed Nova's advice and experienced this, their bond as mother and son broke down, and Isaac gave up on going back to Nova's place entirely. I also reported this event to their neighbors. As a result, everyone in the neighborhood now views Nova negatively, and she is alone since no one wants to talk to her. Additionally, I had informed Isaac's employer about his affair. There aren't many people working for the little business, and now that he is receiving a cold shoulder from everyone due to his own controversy, Isaac is feeling incredibly embarrassed. Receiving their response in this way is a very pleasant sensation. However, since I'm single now, I seized the chance to purchase a tower condo.